I know I haven't been here for a while, only myself to blame. But I'm finally here to talk some stranger news with my friends today. Even though we've been waiting so long for season 5, still we must wait till 2025. But Stranger Things Day yesterday gave us a little taste when they told us episode names. We have episode names. We have episode names.
Holy jeepers creepers. I'm back in a podcast mood. Greetings, stranger friends, and welcome back to another episode of Stranger Danger. There's no Stranger Things Forever. There's no recap today. Today, I just wanted to say, hey, how's it going? Apologize for the delay and talk a little Stranger Things 5. But before we get there, it's been almost 2 months since you last heard from me, and I was on a roll for a while. So I was doing Stranger Things Forever, just recapping Stranger Things 4, 10 minutes at a time. Made it through the first episode, started the second episode. I think I made it through 2 of those. I was like, great, this is going good. But then things got very busy as far as work. I have my full-time job, but I also was helping out my cousins with their business. I help with some web forms, and there's a lot that goes into it. And so most of my nights were getting those set up for them. And at the same time, even though Stranger Danger really, really means the most to me, I still have other podcasts that I like to do, and those were more on a weekly kind of basis where I was doing a show for football, and then I decided, I'm gonna do a show for the Penguin, so I started doing that, and I'm behind on that too. So it's not just Stranger Danger that's been getting neglected, but I was doing that, and I do a movie podcast with my buddies that we pretty much meet every 2 weeks to meet on Zoom to talk movies. So I still tried to, keep that going with them. But in the back of my mind, I said, I got to get back to this. I got to get back to this. I got to get back. Even if I'm just talking Stranger Things in the Ninja Turtles, I got to get back to this. Now, I am excited that I'm going to be reading the new Dustin book soon. I'm finishing up a book that I'm reading now. Hope to have that finished tomorrow. And then I think I'm going to jump right into is it the Dustin book? I can't remember the title right now, but there will be a Stranger Danger book club devoted to that when I get back. When I get back from where? Well, Saturday is when I drive my mother-in-law down to Florida. I've talked about this many times. We're going this Saturday. Saturday we go. Sunday will be, so Saturday we'll get to Virginia. Sunday we'll get to North Carolina. Monday we will get to Florida. But I'll be reading along the way. Tuesday, just hanging out in Florida. Wednesday, flying home. Then I have the rest of the week out. So hopefully I'll be really close to done this book, because I'm a notoriously slow reader. And I can't really, I guess it's against the law to drive and read at the same time. I wish it wasn't. I think I could do it. But, so I have to, I'm going to be spending most of my time driving. But, as much as I possibly can, I will be reading and hopefully get back to you guys very quickly. I want to say thank you to those of you who reached out. I had some messages on TikTok just checking in to see if everything's okay, because they haven't seen me for a new episode in a while. And I wrote back to someone. I said, "Oh yeah, everything's great. I've just been very busy." And then I think I jinxed myself. So I'll just give you a quick update of why I didn't get an episode. I was like ready to go maybe a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And then I started getting these stomach pains. I was like, that doesn't feel good. This was 2 weeks ago yesterday. And my wife's like, maybe you should go to the hospital. And I said, no, please. No, I said, oh, okay, fine. So ended up, my dad brought me to the hospital. We hung out there for a while. I thought, okay, honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, I thought maybe I just had, I'm going to say it. I thought I had gas. I thought it was just gas and it would pass. You know how that works. And it would be like, everything's good. They say, you know what? Why don't we check your blood? Okay. And I was like, how do you do that? And then they said, why don't we also do a CAT scan? And I was like, what? What is going on? Okay. I mean, I feel okay. They gave me something for the pain. I was like, I feel fine now. I think, everything's cool. Let me go home. They said, not so fast, buddy. You got to have your gallbladder out. I'm like, what? I literally said, what? So that was a Wednesday night. They said, you're not going home tonight. You might be going home tomorrow. If not, you're going to have your surgery on Friday. So my dad's like, I'm out. Good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I said, yeah, go home. Go home, old man. So he shuffled away and texted my wife and said, I'm not going home tonight. They stuck me in a room where, I got to say, the Wi-Fi at the hospital, quite good. So I had my Kindle, I had my phone, I had my phone battery. But I'm an adult, so I told my wife the next day, could you please bring my tablet and my phone charger and these headphones and these headphones and these headphones? So she came in, and it was honestly like the stomach pain gone. But I just had a headache. Oh, that was the worst. I had a headache because I couldn't eat anything. I hadn't eaten anything. I hadn't had any caffeine. They put me on like a clear diet. And it was like, yeah, we got to just, keep you off food for the whole day. I said, no, I like food. And it's like, how hard it is to, you're basically, I was in an ER room by myself, but you're still in the ER. So it's loud. And you have a headache. And the only thing that I could bear to watch was Halloween Wars on Food Network. It was like on constantly all day. So I just had that going and just slept most of the day. Then finally, a nurse came in. I was like, oh, good morning, ready for my surgery. She goes, it's 9:00 at night. Oh, we're going to put you up in a room and then get you situated for tomorrow. So long story short, when Friday came, they say, all right, you're going to be all set. This actually happened. The anesthesiologist said, okay, it's going to be quick and easy. You're going to, close your eyes. Oh, and then boom, a second goes by. You wake up, it's all over, and we're going to get that appendix out. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, what? Could you, he looks at the paper, he goes, oh, I mean gallbladder. I was like, what does it say on the paper? It says gallbladder? Okay. Phew. I'm like, I don't want to go through that twice. Like, oh, sorry, we took the appendix out. Can you put it back in? So everything went fine. Everything went good. Went home that same day. And for a few nice days, I did nothing. It was nice. I just sat. It was. It's November here. It was the end of October. But in New England, the weather's been pretty great. So I just sat outside one day and just read all day. I was like, I'm sorry I can't walk my dog. I'm sorry I can't lift. I'm sorry I can't go pick up dinner. Oh, woe is me. And I was milking it for as much as I can. Now, I went to the doctor yesterday, and she's like, you're like the surgeon. She said, all good. You're good. Clean bill of health. You know, you can go back to normal activities. And I said, oh, good, because I'm going to see Iron Maiden in a couple hours. Can I do that? She said, yes, just no moshing. I was like, doctor, there's not been a mosh pit in Iron Maiden in 50 years. So I did that last night. So everything's normal. And I said, oh, and can I drive my mother-in-law to Florida? She said, yeah, just take it easy lifting things for the next week. And that was music to my ears, because now I'm like, well, I can't carry everything in the house. You're going to have to get help. Oh, I don't want to push it. I don't want to get a hernia or whatever. I feel pretty good. I was basically glued together it was like, what do they call it? Laparoscopic surgery. So I'm glued together in a bunch of spots. Most of it's gone. There's still a couple. I don't want to bore you with all this stuff, but you know, I'm on the mend. I'm still good. Should be fine to drive for long stretches. But I just can't lift as much. Oh, I better go read some Stranger Things books. Gotta go. Bye. I'll go sit by the pool. So long. Goodbye. So yeah, that's what's been going on. So everything was fine. Everything is fine. But I feel like I spoiled it when I said, oh, I'm good. It's just been very, very busy. Well, it wasn't busy for a few days. I got to relax and heal up, and I'm doing much better. Thank goodness. And now I'm here, finally, to talk some Stranger Things episodes with you, because yesterday was Stranger Things Day, and we got some cool pictures, which was nice. But the real thing, the real cool stuff, is we got all the episode titles. We got 7.5 episode titles for the 8 episodes. And what I want to do is go through each episode and speculate. I love to speculate. But before I do that, you know how I tell you that you can always reach out at strangerdangerpodcast.com. There's a link there for leaving a voicemail. Well, I've had a voicemail in my inbox since August. And I wasn't doing voicemail on Stranger Things Forever. So I thought, okay, the next time I do an episode that's non-Stranger Things Forever, I got to listen to that voicemail so I can talk about it. So this is that episode.
Oh. I'm back.
Oh, here I am. Rock you like a hurricane.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm not going to be here for a while, though. So, yeah, I'm just going on a little nostalgia trip, and this is technically a part of it. Bye.
Bye. I forgot to mention that. That came in from Alan back in August. I finally played it. I told you. If you're going to send in a voicemail, I would say 99% of the time I'm going to play it. Now, it may take months, but I did it. We did it. We're finally here. So, very cool. Thank you, Alan, for sending in that voicemail. Really nothing to do with Stranger Things except the nostalgia trip. I think that's what you said, nostalgia trip. It's funny because I remember when that song came out. I was a wee lad, and the video is crazy. If you ever seen the video for Rock You Like a Hurricane, it's a bunch of, and it's funny, if you look at old Scorpions, like the Scorpions have been around, I think, since, or not the Scorpions, Scorpions have been around since the 60s, I think. Like, they were like a trippy band then, and then they kind of caught into the 70s and then, got into like the more polished arena style rock in the 80s. But Rock You Like a Hurricane was the first thing I ever knew. And it's one of the early songs I learned on guitar too, which, it is tremendous. But the video is crazy. I think they're in like a cage with a bunch of women at like almost like imprisoned or something, and they're all like going wild. I think they're rocking like a hurricane, if I'm not mistaken. But cool. Thank you for the voicemail. Of course, go to strangerdangerpodcast.com to send in your voicemail. There's a good chance it's going to be played. All right. Now, without any further ado, let's take a moment And then let's talk about these episode titles. So, yesterday was Stranger Things Day, of course, November 6th, commemorating the day that Will Byers was stolen from our universe and taken to the Upside Down. My goodness gracious, it seems so long ago, and yet we still feel like we have to wait so long to get to these 8 final episodes. But what we don't have to wait for is most of the episode titles. Now, we've known about the first one for a while, but it wasn't until yesterday at Stranger Things Day that they released a little video giving us the other 7 titles, or should I say other 6.5 titles, because they redacted one. They blocked it out a little bit because they don't want to give that away until probably, I guess, the release of the actual season. And I think there might be 2 reasons for that. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's go through each episode and kind of just give a guess. Now, I haven't done a whole lot of research on this, so a lot of this is going to be off the top of my head. But there were a couple things that I did look up that might be clues. I don't know. And they're not spoilers in any way. By any means are these spoilers. They're just guesses based on the words that are in these episodes. So first up, episode 1, chapter 1, The Crawl. Now, when you see a movie, when you think of Star Wars, you think of The Crawl. The Crawl is at the beginning of Star Wars where it says episode 4, A New Hope, and it's like it's a time of civil war, and whatever, all these things where the text crawls on the screen. Obviously that's not what this is about. I have a theory that the crawl, this is just me, is what they're calling the infection of the Upside Down coming into Hawkins. Now, I remember the end of episode 4, it seemed like the gates opened, the chime that went off, all that stuff happened. Remember, it ended when they're looking and they're basically seeing the evil of the Upside Down. Even though they took out, Vecna, still some bad stuff happened. And I think they're going to call that the crawl, where it's seeping out and it's crawling and it's making its way out further and further into Hawkins, into our reality. Again, that's just one option, literally, that I thought of by looking, what could the crawl be about? It could also be about, I thought I saw one headline that said something to do with Max. Maybe it's Max, because when we left her last, she was trapped in her own mind because of Vecna. Like maybe there's something where she needs to crawl her way out. So that could be another option. Episode 2. Now, this is the one, chapter 2, that was redacted. It says The Vanishing of Blank. Now, we know that the first episode ever of Stranger Things was The Vanishing of Will Byers, which at the time meant nothing to anybody watching the show. It's just now we, of course, know who Will Byers is. So, The Vanishing of Blank. There's 2 ways to look at this. Number 1, it is a character that we know and love. So if they put the name there, it kind of spoils, oh my God, this person's going to be vanished, The other thought that I had, the other option is, could The Vanishing of Blank, it be left blank because there's a new character they don't want to tell you about? So it's the vanishing of, Smithy Ferguson. Oh God, who's Smithy Ferguson? And then in the first episode, you start, the crawls happening, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, Smithy, hi guys, it's me, Smithy Ferguson. You're like, oh my goodness, that's the dude who's going to vanish. in episode 2. So it could be something like that where it's a completely unknown name and they just don't want you to speculate about who's playing this character. That's probably unlikely, even though I want it to be Smithy Ferguson and I want that to be the character's name. It's probably unlikely that that's what we're going to see. It's probably going to be a person that we know. And it's like, it can't be, they're all together now, right? All together now. But it, like, could it be, it can't be 11. Like, I feel like it can't be Will again. It can't be, I don't think it's going to be any of our main kids, our main friends. No Lucas, no Dustin, no Mike, no Will, no 11. Max is, still in the hospital. Well, obviously time has passed, so we don't know what's going on. We got Steve, we got Robin, we got Nancy, we got Jonathan. That's pretty much the people that we need to worry about. And of course, Joyce and Hopper. Oh my gosh, now I'm getting worried. The vanishing of, it's not going to be Hopper again, I think, because he was already taken from us, even though we knew he was alive. The rest of them thought he was dead. So he was already, out of their lives for a while. I'm going to say the vanishing, this is just going to be a guess, the vanishing of Nancy Wheeler. There. I said it. If it comes true, remember where you heard it first. The vanishing of Nancy Wheeler. Now, chapter 3 is called the Turnbow Trap. Well, what does that mean? I looked up Turnbow. I was like, what the heck is Turnbow? Well, it turnbows out. It turns out that Turnbow is, like, the first thing that popped up was it's a name. It's a last name. And I thought, like the quarterback, Tim Turbo, but that's the wrong person. Oh, Turnbow. It's still not the right last name. But it's the last name of someone. So it's a new character. And this person has a trap. So again, my mind is reeling. Well, who do we know is going to be a new character in Stranger Things? We know Linda Hamilton is going to be a new actor coming in, new character. And I think she works for the military. So maybe she would want to set some sort of trap. The Turnbow trap. So my guess is, this again, speculating, making it up completely, the Turnbow trap has something to do with Linda Hamilton's character. We'll see. I feel like I should go back and, after we know what they're about, I feel like I should go back and grade my my guesses. So chapter 4 is simply called Sorcerer. And right away, again, completely guessing, but my first thought, I was like, it has to be, without a doubt, the Sorcerer is Will the Wise. Will Byers. He has been a wizard. He has been, in D&D and in Will's fantasy as far as with paintings and stuff. He's done all kinds of art for Will the Wise for so long. He I feel like has always been the key since day one. 11 and Will have been the most important characters as far as dealing with the monsters, dealing with the evil, dealing with the upside down, I think. And I feel like this is going to be a major episode for Will. And I worry because didn't they say that people could die and major characters could die? Now, I can't imagine that a major player is going to die in episode 4. I would be shocked. Beyond the shadow of a doubt, I'd be shocked. So I'm not going to predict that. But I am going to say that Sorcerer has something to do with Will. Now watch it be like some cool dude has a van and on the side of the van is painted Sorcerer. Hey man. He's like a local drug dealer. Hey, it's me, Sorcerer. But no, I'm going to say it's Will. Number 5, Shock Jock. Now there's 2 ways to look at this. You can look at it at face value. Shock Jock. You think of like, someone on the radio in the 80s acting wild. I think Howard Stern kind of like would epitomize the term shock jock, really. So you think it's probably radio related. Now remember, the Stranger Things Twitter account released some photos yesterday. And one of the photos, it looks like it's Mike and Lucas driving outside, riding their bikes outside a radio station, WSQK, 50,000 watts of FM power. SQK. Whisk. I was trying to think if there's any clue in the radio call letters. Doesn't seem to be. So, I think it's a play on words. It's radio related, but I feel like something shocking is going to happen to the radio guy. He's going to die on the air or something. At first, I thought, well, maybe it's a play on words and it's not really Shock Jock radio. It's something happens to a jock, at Hawkins High, one of the high school kids. Something, but we did so much with the basketball team last year that, it could still be that. But now that I see this radio station in the photo, it's got to be radio related. Hopefully get some fun, like 80s radio jingles or something. Maybe they'll be focusing a lot on this radio station. Like you'll hear music from the season being played, but it's being played directly from WSQK. Hawkins rock. Oh, come on. If they're not saying we're Rockins in Hawkins rock. Rockins. Oh, come on. It writes itself. So I'm wondering if WSQK is part of Rockins, Indiana. But I don't have anything else other than Shock Jock. So that's where I'm going with that. Now this episode 6, chapter 6, is the one that is the weirdest title. Escape from Camazotz. Not Camelot, but Camazotz. And I said, what the hell is a Camazotz? So I Googled the word Camazotz, and it turns out it's an actual thing, not created for Stranger Things. But you know how Stranger Things is. They will take something and kind of twist it and make it work for them. So it says escape from Camazotz, which sounds like it's a place, someplace you go. But if you look up Camazotz, I love saying that, on Wikipedia, it says, in the late post-classic Maya mythology, Camazotz is a bat spirit at the service of the lords of the underworld. Huh? The lords, I'm going to say it with a big, thick accent, the lords of the underworld. Think about that. We know the Upside Down. It's not quite the underworld, but it's about the underworld as it gets. Because I think, in the Wikipedia reference, they're talking about the underworld like hell. But they call it the underworld. So really, maybe we're literally talking about the Upside Down. We've seen the bats. We've seen demobats, right? Maybe there's a leader. Maybe you're not escaping from a place, but you're escaping from a group of the Camazotz. But they call them demobats. So maybe, interesting. But you chose this word for a reason. It says in classic Maya iconography, the leaf-nosed bat exhaling unhealthy vapors is often depicted as a person's way spirit bringing disease over an enemy. Oh my God. Oh, it could be like the spreading the disease. However, the classic bat spirit is rarely, if ever, part of a narrative context, nor does it appear to play the role assigned to it by Popol Vuh. Okay, I don't know. Look, I just went to Wikipedia, but I like the fact that it is a bat-related thing. So could Camazotz be the new monster? Now, Vecna's not completely gone, right? So maybe Vec and Cam hook up to try to, really cause trouble. Maybe Camazotz is Vecna's number one general, because you think of like all the Demogorgons really were kind of his mindless foot soldiers when you think about it. And the Mind Flayer was his creation, like his masterpiece. But maybe Camazotz is something else. Maybe it's one of those bats, but a giant one. Maybe it has nothing to do with bats at all, but I thought that was pretty cool. We're almost done here. We're getting through this. Chapter 7, The Bridge. The Bridge. Now, what does that mean? You think about it. Like, in a song, the bridge is what connects, like, the verse to the chorus. It's connecting something. Is it connecting our world to the Upside Down? They found a bridge. Now, we see these gates all the time. Maybe now we see something called the bridge that gets us there. Is it... I hate to have to wait till episode 7 to see this, but is this how Max gets out of the trouble that she's in? How she escapes her mind, how she escapes the void. She finds a bridge and she crosses it. What? And then I feel like they also do something where it's like literally something happens on a bridge, where it's a double meaning. I think about the piggyback last year and like, what the hell is that about? And then you realize, oh my goodness, this is what it means. I feel like the bridge could be that as well. I really don't have much else to think on that. I just feel like it's something's connecting, and it probably has to do with, the Upside Down and our side, which I think is the title of the series finale of Stranger Things. Chapter 8, the final episode of Stranger Things, The Right Side Up. What's the opposite of the Upside Down? The right side up. I hope that means the right side up, the world we live in, the universe, the reality that we know, wins. We finally finish it all, it's completely done. Remember the last episode of the first season was called The Upside Down. Think about that. The Upside Down. And then in a complete twist, we get back to the final episode, which is The Right Side Up. It comes full circle from the Upside Down to the right side up. And I just think that means that we see the final consequences of everything that happens. We close any final gates, and we have as much of a victory as you possibly can with the pain and the loss that they've all had to deal with for so many years. The right side up, we end with a happy ending on Earth. Or, on our side of Earth. And I think that's it. But they always talk about, well, this is the end of this story. But there are other Stranger Things stories. I'm assuming those would be in the past. I know that's what the play is. The play is something in the past. A lot of the books are either in the past or in between seasons. So I don't think they can just close the series with a little cliffhanger, like it's pretty much all done, but it's not fully done. But they could do that too. I mean, they could do that. Think about it. Oh my goodness gracious. That was something. That was exciting. Yeah, I think that's it. We have The Crawl, The Vanishing of, I'm saying it right now, Nancy Wheeler. The Turnbow Trap, which I think I'm going to guess is Linda Hamilton. The Sorcerer, I'm going to say Will the Wise. Shock Jock, obviously having something to do with radio. Maybe a radio dude dies. Escape from Camazotz, because I wanted to say that one more time. And also maybe it's a bat, who's kind of the number 2 to Vecna. The Bridge, which is going to connect the Upside Down to the Right Side Up, the final episode of Stranger Things. Now, we say, we have to wait till 2025. 2025 is like less than 2 months away. We're talking weeks, not months. 2 months from now, it's going to be January 7th. So it's already so it's less than 2 months to get to 2025. Now, I would always love that on Christmas Day. Think about this. On Christmas Day, Netflix has NFL games. They have like 2, maybe 3. I think they have 2 NFL games. Riddle me this. Imagine if on Christmas friggin' Day, we get an ad on Netflix, Stranger Things 5, February 1st, or something like that. Like, boom, we're getting it really quick. And, I mean, that would be incredible. I know my niece and I would freak the F out if we saw that happening on that day. I'm excited. I'm so excited. I'm about to lose control, but I think I like it. So that's it. That's it. I apologize for not getting back to you guys sooner. I had a bit of an excuse, but a lot of it was just I was, had to prioritize a couple things that were more time sensitive. But nothing's more time sensitive than me driving my mother-in-law. 2 days from now, I will be sleeping in some Virginia motel, but I'm going to wake up. There's a Dunkin' Donuts right there. Boom, on to North Carolina. I mean, it's not that it's the only thing I'm thinking about, but thinking about it a lot. Yep. So that's okay. That's it. I'm not going to bother you anymore. Thank you on TikTok for reaching out. I appreciate that. Thank you, Alan, for the voicemail. Rock you like a hurricane. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and Mastodon.social at Geek Mentality. The show is on Twitter at Stranger D Pod. I know we have Instagram too. I think it's Stranger Danger Podcast. I just don't use it enough. I apologize. But the most important thing is every episode of Stranger Danger can be found at our YouTube channel at Fans on Experts and at strangerdangerpodcast.com. So that's it. I'm done. It's the vanishing of Mike right now because I'm going to vanish into the evening. But remember, my friends, stay stranger, stay cool, and beware Camazotz. I wanted to say it one more time.
Fans Not Experts.